A few weeks ago, I recorded a cover of the Oasis song Lila. Now, you haven't seen it because I decided not to publish it. It sounded alright, but it was a bit messy and I had the feeling that the sound was a bit off. Coincidentally, one of my supporters here on YouTube, Paul Johnstone, who has a brilliant YouTube channel of his own, uploaded a cover of Lila the same day I recorded mine. Now, a big shout out to Paul, of course. I've linked his channel down in the description. Please take 30 seconds off your time and go subscribe to his channel. He's doing some amazing guitar covers as well. Plus, he also owns one of Noel's stage-used pedal boards as well, so it's well worth the visit. Big shout out to Paul again. So I watched Paul's video and he really played Lila spot on, way better than I did. And then I have noticed that he fretted the chords a bit differently, yeah? I mean, just like Noel did, right? Again, I grabbed my guitar and I tried to play it as he has, or as Noel has, and it sounded awful at my hands. Now, I thought to myself, why can't I get this freaking song to sound correct? Is there maybe an alternative tuning involved? And it turns out, yes, of course, Noel used an alternative tuning with Lila, as well as with a few other songs during live performances. And this video, by the way, is only about live performances. I don't know how they recorded the songs in the studio. Well, nobody could ever know. But we can get a really good feeling as to how the songs were played during live performances. And this is exactly what this video is all about. Now, before I did all the research for this video, there were only two songs that I knew Noel used an alternative tuning for, live of course. And those songs were Turn Up the Sun and Waiting for the Rapture. We'll disregard Waiting for the Rapture for this video since it's quite obviously some kind of drop tuning where only one finger was used to fret the chords there. Yeah? And maybe it was to simplify the song for Noel also to sing over it. So yeah, but we'll disregard Waiting for the Rapture for the moment. Turn Up the Sun is more interesting. We know that Noel used a detuned B string on this song that was tuned to an A. There are tutorials online for this song that also mention the tunings. I've linked one down below as well. Also, again, please check out Paul's channel. He also did a cover of Turn Up the Sun and it sounds brilliant. So we know Noel used this tuning for Turn Up the Sun, but when we have a look at live performances in 2005, most notably the gig at the City of Manchester Stadium, where Turn Up the Sun was the set opener, the second song was Lila. And there wasn't any guitar change, nor did Noel have the time to tune back to standard tuning because there was no break in between the songs. Lila would start right after the ending chords of Turn Up the Sun there. That means Lila also must have been played with this alternative tuning. And this is really interesting because if we have a look at live performances from Oasis's final tour in 2008 and 2009, the Dig Out Your Soul tour, Lila was also played as the second song in the setlist, preceded by Rock and Roll Star, which was the set opener, and followed by Shock of the Lightning. Logically, it would make sense that those three songs were also performed with the same alternative tuning. Think about it, all three songs were played with the capo on the second fret, there were no guitar changes, and there were hardly any breaks between the songs. So in my mind, this theory checks out. So let's put it to the test. I'll play some parts of Rock and Roll Star, Lila and Shock of the Lightning with standard tuning, followed by the alternative tuning back to back. I'll be playing my Epiphone Riviera Noel Gallagher signature with the standard tuning and my Gibson ES355 Noel Gallagher signature with the alternative tuning. And the alternative tuning again means all of the strings are the same as the standard tuning except for the B string that is now tuned to an A, of course disregarding the capo. Noel in the 2000s with Oasis and of course the High Flying Birds is known to play very lush sounding open chords. And I think for those three songs the alternative tuning enables you to play more open strings. I'd like to give you one more example, and that's the solo part of Rock and Roll Star. First, without the capo and with standard guitar tuning, during the latter part of the solo you can really hit the top two strings and it sounds very good. This is the way that they did it in the 90s in my opinion. Sounded quite alright. Now the same thing with the capo on the second fret and with standard tuning, like Noel played it in the noughties. Now all of a sudden it doesn't really sound good anymore with playing the top two strings openly. You'd have to mute them and play the strings you're actually fretting, and only play the strings you're actually fretting. If we have a look at Noel playing this part during the solo of Rock and Roll Star in 2008 at Wembley, we can see that he's also strumming the top two strings. Again, it's a very lush sounding open string voicing on the guitar. So let's have a listen at this part of the solo with the capo on 2 and the alternative tuning. So I think quite clearly this theory is proven. We can add Turn Up the Sun, Rock and Roll Star, Lila and Shock of the Lightning to the list of songs that were done with the alternative tuning, live and in the 2000s, right? So I'm only talking about live performances here. But there's one more song that I think was played with this alternative tuning. To my ear, it sounds way better with the alternative one, so it's safe to say that Falling Down also was performed with the alternative tuning. So I would assume that we can add Falling Down to this list of alternative tunings as well. So I think that's it for Oasis. Let's have a look at the High Flying Birds era. If you've watched my one of my recent videos on the rare Oasis gear I found online, I'll link it down in the description if you want to follow up with that one. You might have noticed that in one rehearsed set list used before the first High Flying Birds gig, there was this remark on two songs saying drop B, right? And this is referring to the same alternative tuning, so it's not a real drop B tuning, yeah, it just says you drop the B string, the B note down to an A, and only that string, right? And those two songs were Record Machine and Mocky Fingers. So we can safely say that those two songs can be added to the list of alternative tunings as well. Now I think there's a third song, right? And this song is called A Simple Game of Genius, which was only performed a handful of times during the High Flying Birds tour, which is a shame. I mean, this is one of my all-time favorites, yeah, and musically this song really stood out from the first album of Noel. Yeah. So it's a shame he only performed it like twice or 3 times during the first tour. I did a cover of that as well, which was a good cover, yeah, but again I think not 100% there. So I tried playing it with the alternative tuning, and I think I can safely say that Simple Game of Genius was performed with the alternative tuning as well. Let's have a listen. Alright, in conclusion, first of all, again, thanks to Paul Johnstone, who has really started my thought process here, and which has led to this video here. The final list of songs where I think the alternative tuning was used is as follows: Turn Up the Sun, Rock and Roll Star, Lila, Shock of the Lightning, Falling Down, Mocky Fingers, Record Machine, and A Simple Game of Genius. That also means that my covers of Rock and Roll Star, Shock of the Lightning, Falling Down, and A Simple Game of Genius are not 100% correct, and I'm sorry about that. So I'll re-record them at a later point in time. Stay tuned for that. Comment down below if you think that some kind of alternative tuning was used on additional songs that I didn't include on my list. Yeah, would be very interesting as well to engage with you in the comments and discuss. Thanks a lot for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, would help me out a ton, and we'll see each other in the next one. Cheers!